Okay, so I just want to take a few minutes out from my extremely busy imaging session to go over a couple of things. This is Jupiter on the 1200 by 800 screen with an asi224. I have I'm trying to capture it just right. I got clouds coming in and out on top of clouds coming in and out. That's why I decided to take a break. It depends how I position my camera on my cell phone over what I get. It looks really cool sometimes, and then other times it looks like hell. Listen, I get a lot of shit about this mount being too small for this scope. The mount is rock solid. What you're seeing right now is apparently on the right ascension shaft with the buyer's drive. There's a little play in there, so I gotta keep the telescope slightly off balance. I think I gotta tighten the clutch on the 10-inch buyer's drive a little bit, because if I tighten that, if I put too much counterweight on the other side of the shaft to keep it over on one side, then the whole telescope moves. So maybe if I tighten up the clutch. Wow, look, that's Ganymede over there. That's like the largest moon in the solar system. So I guess I gotta tighten up the clutch on the drive gear. Wait, hold on, I'm doing two things at once. And it's a 10-foot long telescope, so it is going to move around if there's even a slight breeze. So this is a asi224, and it's a 16-inch f7 Newtonian on a German equatorial mount. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a scope, and it kind of goes all the way up into the sky like a rocket. Let me see if I can get the scope. I can't even get the whole thing in. I kind of like to stay low to the ground. This is my finder scope, and this is how I keep Jupiter in the field of view. Let me see if I can get this. It'd be cool if I could. Where's my camera lens on here? So that's Jupiter in my illuminated reticle finder. That's how I keep it centered. So that's an 80mm ED that I'm using for that now. I had a 100mm, but I spent so much money on this stuff, I actually want to sell the 100 now, because I really don't need it. So it's kind of holding pretty steady. I'm just waiting for these clouds to pass by. I mean, for a breezy night, it's pretty solid, and it is pretty breezy out. Up there, it's completely gone now. So I'm waiting for these stupid clouds to go past. So anyway, recap: Jupiter on a 16-inch f7 Newtonian Pegasus optics mirror with an asi224mc and an ADC corrector and a 2x Barlow. So I guess that translates out to about f21ish. If you want to get technical, f21.6. The asi290 imaging camera that I was using had a smaller chip. I don't remember off the top of my head the size of the chips, but it had a smaller sensor, which means that Jupiter was bigger. And if I used an ADC corrector and a 2x Barlow, then Jupiter would be past 400 pixels in diameter, and then I'd be supposedly oversampling, so I don't want to do that. So that's why I decided to go for this camera. And I really haven't even got a chance. See, there it is. It's coming in and out of these clouds. But when it does come out, even on my phone, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's tons of detail on it. I just processed a quick AVI from Fire Capture. This is AMCAP, by the way. I hate Fire Capture. I can't stand it. There's just too many things I can't stand about it. The only thing I like about it is I actually capture more frames on Fire Capture than I do on this software. As far as USB ports, I think one of the nights that I was imaging with this on top of my ladder before I got the cable extension, I accidentally did drop the laptop. It seems to be okay, but every time I plug this into the USB 3 port, which is on the right side, the camera makes that sound that it's disconnecting itself. So I have it plugged into another port, but I still think it is a USB 3 anyway, because in fire capture I just did an AVI on a 1200 by 800 screen, and in less than 2 minutes I captured 4,000 frames. This particular capture software, I capture, well, I didn't do a 1200 by 800. I think it captures a lot less than 4,000. You can see, I mean, it's breezy out. I mean, this isn't a short video. And Jupiter's kind of holding its own. Staying right in the middle of the screen. I just had to tweak it a couple of times. If I actually physically touch the tube, like here, I'm tapping it really hard. Let's see how long it takes to settle down. Alright, it's not that bad. I mean, it is a big telescope. Besides that, you don't go knocking on your telescope like a woodpecker when you're imaging. And if it wasn't windy out, it would be stabilizing right away. Let's see what kind of details we could get. Yeah, so that's Ganymede. It's like the biggest moon, I think, in the whole solar system, except for Titan. And it's one of those so-called festoons, or I don't think it is a festoon. I think that's actually a hole in the atmosphere, looking deep down into Jupiter's atmosphere. The festoons are actually these white clouds in the atmosphere. Ooh, I know what I could do. Options, filter. I'm going to turn down the gamma a little bit. Technically, you're supposed to shut gamma off when you're imaging. I don't know why, because it always looks better. That'd be a good question to ask anybody who knows more about imaging than I do. Why do you have to turn the gamma off? I just turned it down, and wow, look at all the details just suddenly pop out. I mean, this is live AVI feed. This isn't a tip or anything like that. Should really hang up this damn phone and start doing some AVIs. The red spot just went around the back of the planet, so we won't get that tonight. Let me see if I can center it better. Oops. We gotta do something about this right ascension drive. I mean, not right ascension drive, the declination drive. You can see, is it slow or is it fast? It's fast. It doesn't move. This doesn't. This is the play in the declination axis. There's play in the declination axis too, so it's bouncing all over the place on play in the mount. So anyway, that's it. Size reference, that's my hand. 15-inch laptop. And that is Jupiter. With an asi224mc. Options. Filter. Let me see if I turn down the exposure some. I'm trying to get a really good image on the phone before I hang up. I can't. It's a cell phone. Anyway, that's a nice long video of Jupiter on my laptop. Like I said, it's a pretty stable mount. That's the play that I was talking about. It's just wobbling back and forth on the polar axis now. I can't do anything about that except for I got to put a counterweight or put a heavier weight to one side, offset the balance. But I think I got to tighten up the clutch first on the polar drive, on the Barr's drive, before I do that. I mean, this telescope is so well balanced, I could take the worm drive and disconnect it from the gear itself completely, and the telescope will still stay there and teeter-totter on the shaft itself. That's pretty good balance. What else can I show before I hang up? Now you guys can see it. No, you can't see it. This is going to be funny. You're going to laugh. I wanted to put a counterweight on. This is my mirror cell. I have 3 pieces of 1/4 inch aluminum angle holding a 3/4 inch multi-laminate piece of plywood. And then inside there's connected to these 3 collimating knobs. I actually use springs from an engine, a car engine. The valve lifter springs, so those are strong springs in there. And I just wanted a little extra counterweight in the back, so I strapped on my Celestron counterweight with a clamp. I got to keep this whole thing back all the way. It's all the way back on the rings. I mean, it's all the way up forward, so it could miss the mount when I'm looking straight up at zenith. So that's my cheesy 80mm ED. I have my 100mm on there, but like I said, I want to try to sell it. And then all the way up there, all the way up there, there's my focuser, my camera. And then there's my 10-foot ladder. 16-inch parallax mounting rings. What else could I show? Here's my declination drive. I mean, my declination drive. My saddle plate is a 3/4 inch piece of plywood with 2 1/4 inch by 2 inch aluminum angles going up and down. It's rock solid. There's the pier. Solid aluminum, anodized aluminum. This is the joint where the pier mounts to the equatorial head. This is all, what is that, 6 inch? I guess that's 6 inch. And the declinations are, the setting circles are 8 inch. So that's probably 6 inch or 4, no, it's not 4 inch. I don't know. But anyway, inside those aluminum housings, those are those are 1/2 inch thick. There are actual real bearings and 1.5 inch shafts. Funny quick story. I didn't do this, but whoever put this mount together, they got the clock on the declination shaft and the declination setting circle on the polar shaft. I don't know who did that. I didn't. Unless that's the way it's supposed to be, and I'm thinking it's not. This is my 10-inch Barr's drive. And it's funny because I don't even have a hollow polar shaft on this. I just eyeball it to Polaris. And then there's a jack screw underneath there that I put a brick on, and I jack it up, and I know pretty much exactly where to set the thing. And I get pretty good polar alignment. Not good enough to take deep sky. Oh, there, where'd Jupiter go? It went away. There it is. Didn't stray too far. Anyway, let me get going. I want to continue imaging. Alright, take care. Bye.